Dear respected listeners, warm greetings. This presentation has been prepared for the BLM2 ICAM4 and International Joint E-Conference, and I am MD Reduanul Haque from Bangladesh. I would like to present on the issue of possibility and prospects of establishing human rights protection mechanism in Asia. Asia is a region where colonialism stayed for a long time, and during this period human rights has grossly been violated in this region, and still it is continuing. And Asia is the only region in the world that doesn't have any region-wide human rights protection mechanism. Due to this region, still the protection is unreached of human rights. So there are so many actors lying behind this. For example, the political leaders, the ruling political parties, and the multinational companies, and so many entities are responsible for these situations. The international authorities has passed so many legal documents, for example ICCPR, ICSCR, where there are so many mechanisms for the protection of human rights. But the real problem is that the people living in an underdeveloped and developing countries like in Asia region, it is difficult for them to reach the mechanism. So only an effective regional human rights protection mechanism can uphold the condition of the human rights of this region. This paper has tried to review the existing regional human rights mechanism and to draw a way forward by solving the barriers of this region to establish an effective human rights protection mechanism in Asia. And this paper has used a qualitative research methodology combined with legal normative investigation, where primary and secondary data are combinedly used. This paper mainly focused on the development of an effective human rights protection mechanism in Asia, and to find the barriers towards the regional cooperation development and effectiveness of this regional mechanism in this region, and has tried to suggest some solutions to these barriers. This paper has focused only on the Asia region, so this is its scope, and the limitation is that as that data primarily use the collected secondary sources, so it seems to be very insufficient for the completion of this research. The globe primarily has been divided into 4 regions for the geographical and political study, and there's Africa, America, Asia, and Europe. And we all know that only the Asia region lacks the regional human rights protection mechanism, and in this regard Europe is called the pioneer, where in Europe 1950 European Convention for the Protection of Human Rights and Fundamental Freedom were framed, and after the passing of so many international documents, America has taken this step for a regional mechanism under American Convention on Human Rights. And in 1981 Africa, also under Organization of African Union, African Charter on Human and People Rights also developed. And from the study of the all existing regional mechanisms and from the literature review, we have come to know that there are some common benefits that have been gathered by the regional mechanisms of different regions of the globe, that are effectiveness of this regional mechanism through which human rights have been upheld. And all the regional mechanisms seems to be very responsive with the combined unit work of that regional states and their combined effort. All these materials have improved their human rights condition in that region. Now come to the point of Asia. Still after a long time, why Asia didn't have a regional human rights protection mechanism? There is a strong historical reason. That is, while dividing the region in 1947 between Pakistan and India, the division was made on the issue of religion, and on the issue of Kashmir they are on a long term of war. Pakistan and India. And in 1971, Bangladesh and Pakistan attained in a war for the liberation. This is also lies behind the non-development of a strong regional cooperation in this region. And the political, if we go to the political issue, all the political parties of this region are thought seem to be their one another against party. And if we go to the economic condition, all the regions of this all the countries of this region are developing, so no one willing to give floor to another. If we go to the socio-cultural region, in this region two major religions followers living here, Islam and Hindu, and most of the time the attain in fighting with in a simple region. So it is also another reason why the Asian people cannot attain in a strong development or regional cooperation condition. If we want to serve some solutions in this regard, first of all, we have to understand our common interest. We have to attain in a cooperation method for our common interest. For example, we can make an example that we are naturally blessed than all other regions of the world, but due to the lack of regional cooperation we cannot utilize all the natural blessings. So this is most important. And in another point, our political leaders and the rich men should broaden their outlook for the common consensus for all our interest. And in this regard, as they are not getting in the same point, United Nations can play an effective role where the superpowers can express their willingness for the uphold of the human rights condition of this region. To draw a conclusion, we can primarily say that Vienna Declaration of 1993 expresses for the arrangements of the regional cooperation to promote and protection of human rights. And we have witnessed from the literature review, Asia is the gross sufferers from the human rights violations, and regional politics and international actors should concern on the issue. Otherwise, the people of this region will always continue to be a sufferers of the gross violation of human rights. And if only then, after establishing an effective human rights regional human rights mechanism, we can hope for the dream of 21st century of humanity, and we can hope for the better in future through this process. That's all on behalf of me. Thank you for listening to me. I have added reference this data has been collected. Thank you very much.